Hi everyone, it's Sarah. It's been a minute. I'm back. I don't know what's going on with my hair. Oops. I am here today to share with you my finishes from the latter part of 2019, and by latter part I mean beyond the end of April. It's been since just before Mania, since my last video, and then I'll have a WIP Parade. So later this week, hopefully Thursday or Friday, I will do another video where I do my other normal FlossTube stuff, where I talk about some acquisitions and maybe some life updates. I'll talk about my 2020 plans. Yeah, and I'll share a game because I like to do that. So I'm just going to delve right in because I have a stack like that of just the projects. I took everything out of the bag, so hopefully that'll make it easier. And basically, just so you know how this is going to go, I'm going to start with my finishes. And then I'm going to move into projects that I am stitching for just myself. Not my Christmas present stuff, which I'll get into in a little bit. Then I'll go into the Christmas present. And then I will do my full coverage Hate and Artisy ones. So it just makes it a little bit easier for me to organize them, to get them back in their project bag, so I'm not having to sort through everything. So I'm going to get started right away. I am going to actually start with a finish that is not my finish. It was a Christmas gift to me from my daughter. I'm going to give you a little bit of a backstory here. This was a kit that I bought to stitch up for my grandmother who passed away in 2009. So I probably started this 2007-ish would be my guess. It was at a point where I really wasn't stitching a lot, but I saw it in one of the craft stores and I was like, oh, well, that would be pretty to do. So I did not do a lot on it. I think just kind of that area right there is what I had done. And so a couple of years ago, we were cleaning out my craft area and I had just told my daughter, I said, just pitch it. I don't think I'm ever going to get to it. I really didn't have any other cross stitchers that I knew that I could just give it to for them to finish. And it was just one of those things that I was like, I just don't ever think I'm going to stitch it. Well, my daughter, unknowing to me, stashed it away in her room. And earlier this year, she decided to start stitching it up for me as a gift. And I didn't know any of this was happening. And to give you a little bit more background, my daughter is not a fan of the process of cross-stitching. She likes cross-stitch. She is more than happy for me to make her patterns that she likes. And in fact, when I go into my 2020 plans, you'll see that some of those revolve a little bit around her, but yeah, she just does not enjoy it. She finds it slow and dull, and she has other things she would rather do, which I completely understand. She has done some in the past. She's done a I think I've even shared it. She cross-stitched a Ditto Pokemon a couple of years ago, probably about the same time that we were finding this in my stowed away patterns and such. And so yeah, she spent a good part of this year stitching this up for me, all in secret, hiding away in her room. My husband was in on it, but I had no idea. I kind of knew they were working on something secret, but this was the furthest thing from my mind of what she could be doing. So she gave this to me for Christmas. My husband was on call on Christmas Day, so it was just the three of us, and my sister-in-law flew down. So we had a really small Christmas. She saved this for our big family Christmas because she knew it was that special, and she wanted me to open it in front of all of my family. And to say that I ugly cried is not not an understatement. There were a few other people shedding tears in the room too. So, but yeah, she just totally 100% astounded me with this, and I will now show you what she actually stitched, and that is upside down. So there it is. She did beautiful work. Let me do that. Did beautiful work. She's never done a French knot before, and she took the time to learn how to do that. All those flower centers are French knots, and the bird's eyes, and I just think she did a beautiful job. I was so surprised to find that be my present. There is a frame to go with it. I tried to show it in one of my earlier videos with the frame, but there was just so much light coming through and so much glare that you couldn't really see the piece. So I took it out of the frame. It wasn't really fully framed. They had just kind of thrown it in a frame so they could present it to me that way, but it still needs to be ironed and stretched and all of that. So if you look on my Instagram, I'll link that down below. You can see a picture of it that I shared that's in the frame. Now onto my finishes. This first one, let me get that paper again. This is one that I do not believe that I have shared as a finish. I think it was pretty close when I last shared it. This is Sword and Shield. This is Daily Cross Stitch. And I did this for my nephew. I still have to put his initials in there. This is going to be a birthday present for him, which is not until April. So we've got a little bit of time. I'm going to kind of work my way through these hopefully pretty quickly. Next one. This is the one and only one of my Christmas projects. For those that are new here, in 2018, I, for Christmas, gave everybody a choice of some specific patterns that I chose, and then basically they could pick from other people's too, because we have a lot of shared fandoms and interest in my family. And for Christmas 2018, I am in the process of stitching all of these up for people, you know, with the understanding that it might be a few years before they see them. They know that it's a lot of people and it takes a lot of time. And so this is my one and only Christmas present that I did manage to finish. This is The Princess Bride by Wee Little Stitches. I had mentioned before, that's kind of showing. It's a little bit more green, the fabric. It's a 14 count that I just had on hand. But it's showing up pretty well. This is Wee Little Stitches. I had mentioned before, I had people asking about this one, and it's not in their Etsy shop, so I didn't think it was available anymore. But a couple of months ago, I went onto their website and I saw it there. So I will link this if it's still available there, just so you can find it, because it's one that I've been asked about a lot as I've been sharing my stitching on it. Next, in September, I did the trial subscription to Readly. Jan Hicks talked about it on her FlossTube, and so I was like, it was 99 cents for 2 months, so I thought I would try it. And while I had it during that trial period, I decided I would try to stitch one from my phone. This is Durene Jones. It is from December 2014. It was definitely 2014. Cross Stitch Crazy. If you're on Readly, if you go down, I believe it is the very, very oldest back issue that they have available on Readly. And I really want to say it's December 2014. But it's in an article, Christmas Cuties, and it's stitched up real fast, and it's real cute. Durene Jones, I'm not sure I said that. And speaking of Durene Jones, my next project, this is one of the freebies from Durene Jones' Facebook page. I think it's adorable. It was a super fun stitch. I don't remember what year, but she uploads weekly freebies. So you should be able to go through there and find it. She has like 4 years worth. So if you want something small and quick and fun to stitch up, it's a good place to look, because there are a ton there. And speaking of Durene Jones' Facebook freebies, this is another one. Everything that I've shared so far has just been on regular craft store Ada, in various colors, stuff that I've picked up over the years. This is also on a craft store Ada, but I hand painted it. So I use textile medium and acrylic paints, and did this kind of purple and gray. It's actually showing up a little more purple on screen than it is in real life. I wish it really were that color, because I wish the purple showed through a little bit more. But this is also one of Durene Jones's Facebook freebies, and this was super fun to stitch. Next is another Readly one that I did during that trial period. It is Remembrance Day. It is Maria Diaz, Lest We Forget. It's part of a whole Remembrance Day article that's in there. And my husband had been asking me to do a Remembrance Day piece for him for a while. I'd still like to do something larger at some point, but I'm happy to have this finished, and hopefully before next Remembrance Day, I'll actually get it in a frame. I had really hoped to have this finished before Remembrance Day, or at least on, but it was actually the 12th before I managed to get that done. Next, I'm going to go into a little bit of a meander and talk a little bit about Mania, because my next finishes have to do with that. And I don't know how much, I can't remember how much I talked about my Mania plans, but I know I shared at least that my plan was to do Christmas ornaments every day, from the Donna Cooler 555 Christmas cross stitch designs. I've had this book for a very long time. I've stitched a few pieces out of here, but I really wanted to really do more in ornaments. So everything I picked out of here was 50 by 50 or less. So, you know, ideally pretty quick to stitch. And so I, before May, went through, made up cards, and I'll show you what one of those look like. Sorry, I'm going to have to open a bag here. So I put down what page number it was on, whether or not they were fractional, so it could help me determine whether or not I could stitch on Ada, or if I needed to go with an even weaver linen. And then I put cat with bauble and heart, because that would help me. There's not any, it's just mostly patterns. There's not any real titles to any of the pieces, so it just kind of helped me know what on that page, because some of the pages I had multiple things I wanted to stitch. So it helped me know what size it was. The size of the piece, so this was 27 by 26, so I would know what size fabric I needed. Didn't want to do something too small, obviously, and this was number 32. Now, obviously, there's only 31 days in May. I did a few extra, thinking that I may not be able to find fabric that was the right color and the right size for all of my cards, and I wasn't, but I still managed to do more than the 31, so I just went ahead and started them all, because why not? And then on the back, I just put all of the DMC numbers. So this is a 27 by 26 piece with 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 18 colors. So there's a lot of color changes in this, which is part of the reason why I still, after so many months, see all of these. Those are the ones I have not finished yet. My hope was that throughout the year I was going to get a start on them, and I'll kind of give you an idea of what my starts mostly look like. Is I would do a strand, or I would do a color completion. So this is that cat that I just shared the card for. I don't know which way is up or down or any of that. I'd have to look at the pattern, and I'm not going to take the time to do that right now. But that is basically what I got done, and that was about what I did every day. I didn't take a lot of time on it, with the idea that hopefully after May I would do one a week, which should be doable, but it hasn't. I haven't. So I will share the 4 out of the 36 or so that I managed to finish with you right now, and I still would like to do, you know, get back to that. I really enjoy having these little ornaments and stuff. So I will share with you what I have finished. Some of these are from at the beginning of each section there's a sampler, so some of these are just taken from parts of the sampler. This is kind of a stylized ho ho ho. Like that one a lot. Oops, I'm bumping the camera. This next one is also from one of the samplers. This is just these 3 carolers. I think that one took a while. That one took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. But like I said, there's a lot of color changes in these. This next one, I think that one turned out really pretty. Can't wait to actually finish these. Maybe this will be a thing for 2020, getting some of these, actually, this and other stuff I've already finished, into ornaments or other fully finished items. Oh, that is not focusing. Let me see if I can. There we go. And there's one that's very similar to this that I think I just have a little bit of back stitching left to do. So hopefully my next weekly video, because I'm really hoping to get back to that. I don't know why focus is such an issue here. I really hope to get back to doing weekly. I'll have that one to show you. And hopefully from there on we'll have more. Okay, so now on to WIPs. I do have a couple of other finishes that I've given as gifts, so I don't have those, and because I wasn't really doing FlossTube stuff at the time, I didn't really think to take pictures, so unfortunately I don't have that to share with you. I did a quick count, and I believe that I had 19 finishes in 2019, most of them being, I think all of them being pretty small, so, but yeah, I'm happy with that. After not cross-stitching for 8 or 9 years on a regular basis, to have 19 finishes in 1 year, even if they're all basically ornament size or really small projects, I'm thrilled with that. And hopefully have a great 2022 as far as that goes. So I'm going to go through these oldest to newest, I believe. Some of them might be a little bit out of order, but it's pretty close. This is my oldest for sure. This is a Janlin kit that I bought in early 2000. My husband and I were not yet married at the time that I bought this. So we got married in March of 2000. So this is 20, if not 20 years old, super close to 20 years old. And up until last year, I don't think I had worked on it in about 20 or 19 years. Oh goodness. There's going to be camera shaking because I'm dropping stuff. Okay. This is my progress on it. Like I said, I started it and then kind of it just sat there and languished for a very, very, very long time. Let me twist this around here. And then I picked it up for some Magical Stitches homework last year. I know a lot of that green was done for some of the homework. And I think we had to stitch something with a doll on it. So that is where I'm at on that. This will probably continue to be a very slow progress piece that I'll pull out for homework occasionally. I would like to have it finished at some point. It's not a priority for me by any means. Next, this one is a bit of a priority for me. This one is 2003 when I started it. My daughter was just about 2, so that sounds about right. We picked this out. My husband and I both really liked it. So I used to stitch this while my daughter napped. And then when she stopped napping, I kind of stopped stitching because it was not easy to find the me time to do it. So yeah, I worked on it a lot in 2003, and again, it kind of sat there until I started stitching again last year, and this is where I'm at on that now. I am probably halfway through with it. Part of my holdup is over in this area. I have some sort of mistake that I'm having to kind of work myself around. I will not frog it because it will take a whole lot of taking out stitches to make that back to where it's correct, because I did not catch a mistake that happened, I think, up in here somewhere. So, and then everything's off by like 1 stitch. So I'm just going to make it work somehow or another. But this one is one that I really hope that I can get finished in the upcoming year. Just make it a priority because it's important. Next, this one is Teresa Winsler Stretch. Stretch the Magic Dragon, I think is what it's actually called. This is a freebie. I think you can still get it if you search Stretch Teresa Winsler. I think that she still has a page for it. I'll try to link it if I can find it. He's beautiful, and I will show you my progress on it. It's not, again, I think I started this in about 2008. So, and it kind of has, I would every once in a while I'll be like, oh, I want to start something, and then I not touch it for, you know, a whole bunch of years. I pulled this out 1 or 2 times last year. But I didn't get very much progress done on it at all. And I'm having a little bit of a quandary with this one. I have Fortunate Traveler, which is another Teresa Winsler piece, and this, it's not the same colorway, but this dragon is pretty prominent on that, just down towards one of the borders. And I don't know how much I want to stitch that twice, even though it is slightly different. So that's just a decision I'm going to make as the year goes by, whether or not that's something I want to go ahead and continue and finish, or if I want to frog it and use the material for something different. I don't have just a huge amount of progress on it, so I don't think I'd feel terrible about losing it, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This next one, I don't have a pattern, I mean a picture for it. I do have the pattern because I've made a working copy of it. It is by Polycarbonera, Carbonari, sorry. And I am doing this 1/1 on 28 count. This is one that I started, gosh, I want to say probably about 2011, 2012, something like that. I have searched all of my Leisure Arts books. I'm almost positive it came out of a Leisure Arts book. It says on the working copy that I have that it was stitched on a pillow. If you know what book this comes from, please let me know. There is a chance that in one of our moves since I started this that I have destashed that book. So I'd like to know what it's from. I haven't really worked on it in the past year, but I really like it, and I'd really like to continue it. So I'm putting it in a WIP, even though I'm not really currently working on it. I may just finish it anyway. It's really pretty. There's like a horse and carriage and a house, and I really like it. It's a cute little winter scene. Okay, next, now we're into 2019. So these are all really old. These are like the 4 pieces that I've moved with, I don't know, obscene amounts of times, because they're important to me in some way. I have had other ones that I just, like, decided it wasn't worth packing in a box. But those are the ones that have stuck with me over all these years. So 2019, January 1st, I started the Linen and Threads. Sorry, I keep shaking the table. I don't mean to do that. Linen and Threads Mystery Sampler Sal. With the intention that I was going to keep up with it and do all the pieces, and found a piece of 32 count linen that was big enough to stitch 1 over 1, and I made some pretty good progress at the beginning, and then here we are over 12 months later, and that is, let me see if I can, that is where we're at. I don't think that's focusing. Shoot. There we go. So I still have the other side of the tail feathers to do, and then I think after that happens, I'm calling it done. I may do this year's. I don't have any immediate plans to do this year's, but I do like this one. And I love this peacock, so I think I'm just gonna be happy to call it a finish once I get the peacock done. I like the rest of it too, but I'm probably never going to. 32 count 1 over 1, even with reading glasses, it's pretty tedious. So I've just decided that I'm probably gonna maybe do the Quaker salad at some point, but like I said, it's not in immediate plans, which I'll go back into later this week a little bit. Next, speaking of ones that I'm not sure how much I'm going to work on, this is Heart Camera Daily Cross Stitch. I started this with the intention that I would maybe make a photo album and put that on the cover. And I started it, and I have not touched it since I started it. So I have that much progress on it. I think I'm going to sit there and see if I feel the call to pull it out anytime this year. If I don't, I'll probably just frog it and do something else with that material, because I don't know. It's not spoke to me since then. Speaking of ones that are speaking to me, I would like to finish this one pretty quickly, and I should be able to sit down in one evening and do it. This is Skeledancers, also by Daily Cross Stitch. And all I have left is the purple skeleton. I do believe that I did a color change in there. I did not like if I remember correctly, I did not like the purple. I'm hoping all of these are focusing. I did not like the purple. It was a little lighter than I like, so I kind of changed it to a little bit of a darker purple. I do not remember what color, though. And I'm really happy with how that's turning out. I just need to sit down and finish that. Like I said, I could probably do that in an evening. Next start. I know this was May the 4th because Star Wars Day. Star Wars by Awesome Pattern Studio. My husband put on A New Hope, and I was like, I need to stitch something. This one is another one with some issues. And again, I haven't really worked on it since I started it. So this is my progress. This is starting the you haven't seen these projects before area. So the issue with this one, the other Awesome Pattern Studio patterns that I have don't have fractionals, or if they do, they only have 1 or 2. This is chock full of fractionals. I started on 8 and not realizing that. So I am thinking of frogging this and putting it on a 28 count or something, so I can do the fractionals a little bit easier. So that may not see any more progress until I restart it. I do still like it. I really like the way that the Yoda and Darth Vader play off each other there. So one of these days, hopefully, I'll restart that. Maybe May the 4th. We'll see. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit more about Readly. I started a couple of projects, bigger projects. This one is Autumn's in the Air And I just printed off a screenshot of the cover so you can see what the finished item is supposed to look like. I am just doing this top section with the house and the trees and the girl walking the dog and the fox. I am doing it 1/1 on 28 count, and this is all the progress I've made so far. But I do love it. Next one is Happy Owl-o-Ween. This is from the Halloween just cross stitch, the Halloween 2015 just cross stitch. This is also available on Readly. Not all of the Halloween and Christmas issues are, but some of like the 2014 through 2016, maybe 2 or 3 years worth are. This is by Breanne Jackson. Happy Owl-o-Ween. I am not super far in this one either, but I have a little bit of the pirate owl done. Why? There we go. He's cute. I like owls, so that one kind of spoke to me. It's also a pretty easy stitch because it's pretty big blocks of colors. Next, Twin Peak Primitives in October, I believe, maybe November. Maybe it was in November. Offered this as a freebie through their Instagram page. And all you had to do was send them PM them your email, and they would send you the pattern. So I am just doing where it says Thanksgiving and then the 2 turkeys and the pumpkin, because that is the size fabric that I had available and I really wanted to start it. So hopefully I like how it turns out. So I just have to mirror the other turkey and then finish up Thanksgiving. I think it's cute. Okay, so that was all of my personal stitching. Now I'm going into the Christmas present stuff. Again, starting oldest, start to newest. First one, this is one of my favorites, Dragon by Valenti Cross Stitch. And I have not made progress on this since the last time you saw it. I had to, as much as I love to stitch on it, I had to put it down to work on other people's stuff because I could have spent all year just working on this one. Because it is so much fun. So that is my progress on that. I love it. Can't wait to get it back out this year. Next is 11 Doctors. This is another Wee Little Stitches. It's now just called The Doctors on the Wee Little Stitches Etsy shop, and I think there's 13 on her newest pattern. She may have updated it since then, but the last time I looked there were 13. It's been a while. I have made a little bit of progress on this since the last time you saw it, because I know for sure I just stitched Doctor Number 4, Tom Baker, a few weeks ago. There's a lot of color changes in him, but oh my gosh, he's adorable. And I may have stitched John Pertwee since then too. Not sure where it was the last time I showed it. Next is Saguaro National Park. This is Awesome Pattern Studio. This one, I believe, other than maybe a little bit in the horse, is all full crosses. And I think the horse, there's like 1 or 2 fractionals. I think the ear, for sure. I've made a little bit of progress on this since the last time I showed it. I can't really remember where it was, but I know I worked on this last week, so that is where I'm at. I can't tell you how happy I was to start seeing that yellow in there, because I spent a long time just on the orange, but it's going to be very pretty when it's finished. I'm sorry, I'm not really talking about fabric much. I really don't have all of the information on the fabric. I am now keeping a tracker on my phone to help me remember that when I know it, but most of the stuff is either stuff I had laying around or something I bought at the craft store. Mushroom House, I got this from my bobbin. This is the first one that you would not have seen before on FlossTube. I started this in May, so after my last FlossTube. Not as much progress on it as I would have liked to have had. This one's going to be one that I'm going to pull out soon and get some more done on it. I do know this is on a 28 count even weave light blue. I think it's Artiste from Hobby Lobby. It's definitely more blue. It's showing up gray from what I'm seeing in the camera. It's definitely more blue than that. Next is not a Christmas present, but it is a present. This will be for my niece. She really loves horses and horseback riding. So I started this for her also May or June of last year. This is going to be for her birthday, which isn't until May, so I have some time. And this is where I'm at on it. Keep dropping stuff. There we go. Ignore the tail on the back. That is just where I still have some thread on the needle from when I worked on it last, which was just a couple of days ago. So this will be the next one I pick up again. Back to Christmas presents. King Valiant's Castle by Clouds Factory, yeah. It's adorable. That is where I'm at. Star Wars Dogfight, also awesome pattern studio. Not super far on this. I think I started this in either July or September. I know I didn't start any of my Christmas presents in August. I don't remember exactly when I started this one. Still another one with not a lot of progress. I'm hoping to pick that one up pretty soon again. Next one, Cute Craft Room by Fuzzy Fox Designs. This is one that I also did on a hand painting. Oh, and the 11 Doctors was also hand painted by me using, oh, I definitely need using the textile medium and acrylic paints. That is where I'm at on that. I like this project. It's fun. Okay, so that is all of the Christmas presents that I started in 2019. I have 3 left to start. I had really hoped to get a good start on all of them. Some of them I did, some of them I got a small start on, and one of them I finished, but I have 3 that I haven't started. Those will happen early this year. My hope is that I can make some better progress on them this year. So now I'm into my full coverage Artisan Hate pieces. This is King of the Jungle. This is a Facebook freebie on the Artisy Facebook page, and I think if you aren't on Facebook and you want to buy it, it's a cheaper pattern in her store, only a couple of dollars, where her patterns are typically like $5 to $10. So I think he's beautiful. I am switching. I'm using Pattern Keeper now, and I've kind of switched from doing columns of 20 to doing diagonals of 20. Thought I would change it up. It may change up again before it's all said and done, but that is where I'm at on it now. So you can kind of see where I'm kind of starting to get into the diagonals there. Have a couple more columns before I kind of catch up with all of this down here. But yeah, this is on 28 count, 1/1. 28 count even weave. Not sure what kind of even weave, but I do know it's even weave. Mini Summer, this is a Hade. This is one that I started for a friend who passed away. I started in memory of a friend who passed away last December. And it's another one that I'm having, sorry, trying to get this situated. I'm having an issue with it somehow or another in my counts. It's looking like I've got an extra stitch at the top. So I may end up having to do some fudging here and move that, do some frogging or something. I don't know. I just need to look at it. So it's kind of been in a little bit of a stall, but hopefully I can figure that out and get back to it, because I really do like it a lot. Next, another Heaven and Earth. This is a freebie. I think it's still up on the freebie on Hade. Old Saint Nick. I am doing a rectangular crop of it. I've made a slight bit of progress since the last time you saw it, but not a lot. That's where we're at now. You can start to see a little bit, I think, of the pom-pom on the end of his hat. And then my last WIP. We're almost there, guys. This is a new one. This I started in the fall. Mini Spiny Woodland Hopper. And Stokes piece. I love it. Not super far on it, but right there. I love the colors. I think they are gorgeous. Let me see. I'm sorry I'm having so much trouble with focus. I don't know how much of this is just going to be blurry to you. But yeah, that is my finishes and WIPs from 2019. I have not started anything new in 2020. There will be new starts in 2020, which I will get into in my next video. Thanks for hanging out with me for the last 35 minutes or so. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in a couple of days. Thanks. Bye.